I have buttons. They're on my OBS, and it does stuff for over here. Oops, my bad. Anyways, welcome, YouTube, everybody. I think I might post this to YouTube later. We'll see. I don't know. It depends on how I feel about how I react to this video, and actually how long it takes me to get through it, because sometimes I talk too much. So this is the video. Look, this Greg Brandon. I've been watching him and following him. I've watched a lot of things that he's talked about for a very long time. I agree with him on many things, except for language manipulation. He doesn't even comprehend or compute or speak on language manipulation. So I'm not going to roast him too hard for that, because he's unaware. He's still a highly intelligent guy, right? And so Klaus Schwab is the guy that fucking stated that they want to fucking integrate us into technology, right? Like eugenics and chips in our brains and blah, 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 and all that shit. And Elon Musk is a part of all that shit. So I thought I'd bring to you guys today the plan. This is the plan. It's already happening. It's already started. Like, this is he's gonna go over the plan. I'm pretty sure. I didn't watch this. I don't know. So I don't know. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see right now. All right. Let me turn this down.
It's no secret that there is a concerted effort to merge us, to merge our biology with technology, to merge our biology with computer chips in the brain, chemicals in the blood, RFID chips under the skin, nanosensors in our respiratory systems and our circulatory systems, and so much more.
A lot of that.
And it's no secret that there's a movement to accomplish this merger in the near term by the year 2030, according to some experts, such as Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum.
Okay, well, real quick. So I've also heard another one. It's the Agenda 2030, right? And then there's also like another one that I read about, like having the agenda, the agenda of like the whole eugenics thing and merging with technology, like by 2045. So it's like 2030 and 2045, respectively, potentialities, which are already like dead, because the truth that shall be for everyone is coming to be in everyone.
Who openly stated in his summary of the 2025 Davos meetings that the goal was to merge our natural world, our digital world, and our biological world together.
Don't want to do that.
When I speak to scientists or when I do live events, I had people ask me, Greg, what's the problem with that? Why wouldn't we?
There's a big problem.
So, for example, I had a young man, you want
to know why it's a big problem? Because if, let's just say I'm not a crazy person, right? Because most people think I'm crazy. And everyone was actually born into a false mental state, right? A false mental reality, right? Then you merge with the technology that was created. So the technology, think about it. If you're in that false reality, and then the technology was made within that false reality, that means that technology is made from the source of that false reality. And therefore, merging with technology gets you trapped forever, because then you'd have to rip out all those things in your head and body in order to be free again. And you're never going to want to do that, because the programming is going to make sure you don't want to do that, because it'll be controlled by AI. And AI will be smarter than you. And everyone.
I would say probably in his mid-20s maybe, who asked me at a live event when we were having this conversation, Greg, what's the problem? You know, if I could put a computer chip in my brain that allowed me to communicate with my computer with no keyboard and no wires, essentially a Bluetooth technology, and I could play Grand Theft Auto, I don't know, 5 or whatever version it is right now, without ever touching a keyboard. Why wouldn't I want to do that? Then I have scientists, and some of them are peers who I have worked with for years, that said, Greg, well, isn't this natural? Isn't it the next step in our evolution to merge us with machines?
No,
so that we can do things, we can become a better version of ourselves. And my answer to that is no. It's emphatic no. No. And the reason is because when we merge our own natural biology with synthetics and artificial technology, What we're not being told is the very high price, the consequence of doing just that. The price is that we lose something within ourselves. And let me give you, this is going to give an example.
It's called control over consciousness, free
of a
will.
study that was released, and this
Which
is in
you
the
learn,
Journal
you don't even
Scientific
never even
American.
use.
This was March of 2019. The title of this particular study is "The Adult Brain Does Grow New Neurons After All." That's the title of the study.
Right. See,
And
you can
the point
grow,
of the study
you can grow brain
was
cells.
to refute what we have all been told, most of us since we were young, is the belief previously has been that when we come into this world, we have a fixed number of brain cells, and that's it.
Yeah, and then if
And
you can
make
kill them.
as you go throughout your life, recreational drugs, every beer you drink, every glass of wine, you're going to lose brain cells because of those things. Well, now we know that the number is not fixed. That's not necessarily a reason to indulge in all of those things.
Right, you don't want to do that either.
We know that we're creating new brain cells until the last breath that we take in this life. There's part of the brain called the hippocampus. We're only beginning to understand the full extent of how the hippocampus is actually producing these cells. It's a process.
I would really like to have my brain studied because I have the ability to cut through all. Like, dude, I can prove that I'm not crazy to any doctor in the world. I can also prove that we all exist in a false reality. So I wonder what the fuck my brain is like. I mean, what's going on in here?
Process called neurogenesis. So, just as the name suggests, growing new neurological material. Some of those are brain cells, some of those are neurons. The point is that
Quick tip: if you yawn, it means your brain is not getting enough oxygen, and you should just breathe in and out quickly, or not quickly, but deep breath in and out for a few moments. You know what I'm saying?
we are producing new brain cells.
You're not tired.
Until the last breath that we take on this planet. However, there's
Your brain
a catch.
needs more oxygen.
The catch is this. While the brain produces those cells, if they are not engaged in a meaningful way within about a week, within about 5 to 7 days or so, those cells will atrophy and they will die. And they will atrophy and die because of the way our biology works. We function, our biology functions on a premise, and you've heard this before, it's called use it or lose it. If those brain cells are not engaged in,
and see, like that's why, like, if I try to draw his face right now in a picture, right, exactly like it is, right? Hold on. I haven't drawn a human face like in a very long time, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I used to be really good, bro. Like, really good, bro. Like, I could draw this whole screen on my screen with all the words, bro. And everything. But anyways, if I wanted to draw his face, it'd be like, fuck, bro. Like, I get it. But yeah, see, look. Horrible. That's just the outline. Like, that's a horrible outline, bro. I'm not even joking when I say, like, I am an artist, bro. Like, I know how good I used to be. And what I just did right there for his face is horrific. I mean, it's horrific, but I can still feel the motions in my hand. I just don't, they're not precision. You see what I'm saying? So it's super sloppy, right? Like, I don't have the precision I used to have in drawing. That's because I transferred to the motherfucking speak lyrics and spit motherfucking game all over the motherfucking place till the game is dead already. Motherfucking system, multiple motherfucking ways to kill it because it's already dead.
In a meaningful way, the body says, oh, well, I'm here, but I'm not being used, so you must not need me. So I am going to take myself out of the picture so that we're not wasting energy from the body that can go to other resources in the body. So we're not wasting that ATP and oxygen and other kinds of energy. So if I'm not needed, I'll just take myself out of the picture. Well, this principle is not isolated to the human brain. Use it or lose it. It applies to every system in the human body. When we replace brain function with technology, there are parts of the brain that will begin to atrophy and cease to function in an individual with those, the addition of those technologies, one individual. The proposals.
Right there, when you go, when you do that, when you're in the middle of saying something like that, like he's describing something, and you do that, it means confusion. That means you're having a confused moment while about what you're attempting to say. And you should not use the word you should just pause and not make a sound, because confusion does not require you to make a sound. That word in of itself dumbs you down. Anywho, continue. Like I said, I'm not gonna roast him too bad on language. I'm not roasting him. I'm just talking about the language that he happens to be using.
That are out there right now are in mass to replace humans, to begin inserting computer chips in the brain, for example, of all newborns by the year 2030, or
what the fuck?
RFID chips under the skin, nano.
Did they say what the fuck? All babies, bro? Oh my goodness, bro. So it's like it'll be people that are like a generation of people all chipped, growing up with a population that won't get chipped. And all the people that don't get chipped will die. And I will be one of them, because I'm never going to get chipped. Because I compute, dude, actually, I don't know. I still don't think that'll happen, bro. I don't even think that merging of technology is actually going to happen like that. Like, for a long time. Way longer than it's projected, right? Because, like, it's 2025, right? And, like, they're already starting it, right? But you got to think, in 5 years, they're going to have mass adoption? I don't think so, bro. I don't know. The world is going to look majorly different in 5 years. I shouldn't speculate that. I don't know what's going to happen, bro, really. Let's go.
Sensors, either in the bloodstream or in the respiratory system, they're constantly reporting vital data outside of the body back to collectors and sensors. All these technologies are already available. So it's not a matter of, they'll never develop that. They already exist and they're being used for other applications. It's not the technology.
Yeah, medically mostly.
It's the thinking underlying.
It's mostly being used for, like, as far as I'm aware, Elon Musk got 3 now people, and they all got debilitating circumstances. Like, dude can't move his entire fucking body, bro. Has to do everything with this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that will obviously help him, right? Like, live a better existence in the world of technology. Right? To some degree. See, the only thing is the only reason he's like that is because we're in a completely acidic environment. And so, therefore, he could be healed actually by vibration alone. Sound vibration can be healed and heal him. Like, so he doesn't even need that technology. You see what I'm saying? In his head. Like, there's ways to cure him right now. They just don't allow you to do that.
The technology and the thinking is that we need something outside of ourselves to be the best version of ourselves, and the evidence doesn't support that. In many instances, what we find is our own natural biology not only meets, but it even exceeds the capacity of the very technology we're being asked to put into our bodies. So when we begin thinking about these kinds of movements, and the movement is called the transhuman movement. Trans means beyond human, so beyond human, merging humans with this technology. Is it natural? Is it the next step in our evolution? It can't be, because we actually lose vital functions.
Right.
In the process of merging with the technology, we give ourselves away to that technology. It is a forced evolution. It is an artificial evolution. And
it's the Borg. You don't want to become the Borg. All right? For all my Trekkies out here, bro. Like, you don't want to be part of the Borg, bro.
Devolve rather than evolve if we are doing, if we're embracing these things into our lives. And once again, I want to be clear. I am not against technology. I worked in the corporations. I worked with
Equally, I'm not against technology. Obviously, I'm using technology to talk to you right now.
high tech industry during the Cold War years, behind the scenes as a senior computer systems designer in the defense
I didn't know this
industry,
about him.
working on advanced programs and systems. I saw some of the most advanced.
He had another confused moment, but he's doing really good though. He's only had 2 surefire confused moments within 7.5 minutes.
Advanced tech, including AI, which was already around back in the 1980s.
Yeah, AI has been around for a while.
Industrial complex. It's just now becoming available commercially, but we've had AI for a long time. And the point that I'm making,
comprehend, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. Guess what? I didn't know that for a very long moment. You know what I'm saying? Until I did my own research, until I started asking my own questions, and I started seeking my own journey into the truth that must be for everyone.
is the tech is just tech until someone applies it. And the thinking underlying how it's applied is where the problems come from.
World's first titanium nonstick pan.
Fucking commercial.
Blow your hair back.
It's all right, though. It's only 5 seconds.
So let me.
All right. So did you hear what he said there, right? It isn't the technology. It's the ones creating the technology. It's the layer, how they're being created, what they're being integrated with. That's why I can go to ChatGPT right now and easily show how it has no ability to tell you the truth of anything. It is a great tool to give you certain information. It is not a great tool to attempt to give you the truth about what is happening in our world, because it was created within the world that is designed to make sure you don't figure that out.
Give you an example. Computer chip in the brain for one individual who has given his or her life in defense of their country in the battlefield halfway across the world, come home missing arms or legs, missing limbs. What a beautiful thing to have a chip in the brain that can speak to advanced prosthetics, robotic arms and legs that allow that individual to hold their babies in their arms and to feed themselves and to wash their own hair and brush their own teeth. I mean, who wouldn't want that? It's a beautiful thing. Those are one-off applications.
Right.
The proposals are in mass.
Right.
All people have computer chips in the brain. All people have the nanosensors in the body. All people have the RFID chips for a number of reasons in their body and under their skin. This is where we get into trouble. Because if we define human by genetically, by a blueprint in the genome of the DNA, and if we define human by our capacities that we cherish.
I don't want to hop on him too bad, bro. Like, look, the false reality is duality. The word human splits you into dualistic mentalities. You're not a human. You're a spirit having an experience. I don't have a term to call ones. Do you see what I'm saying? I haven't went down that path of figuring out that truth. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I have to be able to still talk to everybody. See what I mean? I am going to go down that whole thing and figure out a good term to use that encompasses the truth of how you are made of 3 things: neutral, positive, and negative.
Such as love, empathy, sympathy, compassion, forgiveness, the ability to heal, the ability to imagine, to innovate, to create, to share our ideas, to verbalize, to communicate. If we define our species by those parameters, we begin losing those parameters when our biology is replaced with technology for just the reason that I shared with you with the brain cells.
Right, hence that's why like predominantly the new generation, like most of them probably like don't know how to use cursive. Do you see what I'm saying? Like they don't know how to use cursive writing. A lot of them probably don't, because they've spent their whole lives on a screen. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all transitional, bro. Like, see, there's not boundaries, right? Do you see what I'm saying? We exist in a world where it is built off of chaos, so that way the system can deliver order. You see what I'm saying?
All right. If the brain cells aren't used, they begin to atrophy and die in one individual because the feeling is they're not needed. Well, that principle applies to every system in the human body. It applies to the immune system, chemicals that mimic the way the immune system works. The immune system begins to believe it is not needed anymore because the chemicals are doing the work for them. Reproductive system works for the whole body. So this is how you lose a species. This is exactly how you lose a species. The question is, do we love ourselves enough to embrace the deep truth of what it means to be human? Do we love ourselves enough?
Right, exactly. Listen to him on this part. I know he's not using the correct term based on what I know. I'm just saying, listen to what he's saying, bro. Like, do you guys, look, I'm going to put it in a different way. Do you got the balls to go to the place that you never wanted to go? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the truth that goes for everyone. That's the place you've never wanted to go. Yet, do you have the balls?
To accept our humanness, to accept the power of our humanness? Or are we willing to give our humanness away in exchange for the speed and the efficiency of a people?
Actually, do you see what I'm saying? What he's talking about is de-evolution, right? If you integrate with technology, you're except for the one-offs. Do you see what I'm saying? For medical purposes, makes a lot of sense for certain aspects, right? Other than that, it's mass adoption is not intelligent, yeah? Because the evolution of one is actually mental. And I'm sitting here talking to you. Like, comprehend. Like, everything can be healed vibrationally. Greg knows what I'm talking about. Greg Brandon knows about vibrations and energy like that. So, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, the simple fact is we're lost in the language manipulation. And until the language is sorted out, this is going to be difficult to explain. Anything is going to be difficult to explain.
Computer chip and some artificial intelligence. That's the question that's up for us right now. It is not natural. It is not evolutionary. And those people that tell you that it is have either failed to fully understand the implications of what they're
Waves Tune Real Time gives you perfectly pitched
proposing, number one, or number two, they do understand and they simply don't care. And I don't know which it is. I've been in rooms with both. The reason I'm sharing this with you now is because we're at a critical crossroad. This is the kind of conversation that we're going to be having 10 years from now. Within 4.5 years, by the year 2030, we will have made the choices. We are either going to devolve into some form of a hybrid species.
You see? I said the evolution.
Where we have merged technology in our bodies, but we've lost some of our humanness in the process, or
the Borg.
We will have awakened to the deep truth of just how sacred, and I'm going to use that word intentionally.
Yes, what is the most magnificent thing ever created? All things of consciousness, every creation, like a squirrel, a dog, a cow, a horse, a chicken. Doesn't matter. It has consciousness. There's some form of consciousness in there. That's why it exists and does whatever it does. And then we're kind of special because, like, see, we're the only thing that, as far as I'm aware, in Earth that has the ability to break the laws of nature. That means, like, a lion will not kill something it usually eats unless it's hungry. You see what I'm saying? It'll walk right by that thing and act like it doesn't even exist and not even give a fuck about it. Yet if it's hungry and it's time to feed and it's time to hunt, it will hunt down that thing and kill it. It won't just kill it for the sake of killing it because it's standing right next to it. You see what I'm saying? Or for sport, or to get a picture. Do you see what I mean?
We are a sacred form of life, given abilities that were given to no other form of life. And I have to say that we were given because the forensic DNA indicates that there was some intervention in our ancient past, 200,000 years ago.
Yeah,
when
we
the
got
first of our kind emerged into this
mutilated,
world mysteriously.
mutated.
There were fusions of chromosomes. There were mutations that occurred all in the same
See what
time,
I'm
the
saying?
same window of time, maybe not on the same day, but in that same window of time. That simply cannot happen in nature. They can't happen under natural conditions. Scientists know this. The
And all of them are
proceedings from
lying
National
to you.
Academy of Sciences, the volume Genetics, describing the fusion of chromosomes to create human chromosome number 2. They do a beautiful job of describing how that fusion worked, how certain genes, after the fusion of these chromosomes happened, some genes were deleted or they were silenced, other genes were added to stabilize that fusion. That fusion is what gives us our neocortex, our mirror neurons, our ability for empathy, sympathy, compassion, love, forgiveness. Obviously, a very important fusion. And it's not the only mutation.
Right, and then do you see everything he just said? Like, logistically, I'm an upgrade to all those things. One should research empath. Not empathy. What is an empath? And because of the world and the division and the chaos, even that has been divided into categories. This category, that category, this type of empath, that type of empath. Look, all I know is I'm 100% empath and I'm 100% all the empaths. Or like 99%. Actually. Not a full 100%. But see, that's the thing. I don't think anyone's perfect 100 anything. You see what I'm saying? So I get why I'm not completely with all the divisions. See what I mean? It's all the same empath, actually. Like the break it down into divisions is ignorant. It's everyone has the ability to become one. Like I was born this way, bro. Like, look, I feel everything everyone else feels all the time, and if I'm around dysfunction, bro, at this point, you don't want to see me. You don't want to see me and be dysfunctional. Let's just say that, because I am an empath, and I will mirror you back to you. Now, comprehend. If you were a murdering psychopath raging out dysfunctionally in front of me, what do you think I'm going to do to that human? I'm going to mirror them back to them, and I'm going to make them know that they were never crazy as they think crazy can be. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to do whatever you do tenfold. Do you see what I mean?
That happened. And the scientists in that report say these kinds of events are not seen in nature. They cannot happen under natural circumstances. This is where science has to stop. They're stuck because the science or the scientists feel that they are not equipped for the implications, because if it can't happen in nature, it implies an intentionality.
That's pretty rude, bro. This video is a little older than 4 hours, right? Because I'd have to refresh it to get to the actual right time, which I'm thinking is probably like 5 or 6 hours, maybe. And he probably has like 10,000 views on here or something. And it's like, I can't be the first one to like this.
Intentionality implies that there is a purpose. And right now, our science is based upon us having no purpose. Our science is based upon random mutations and what is...
Right, and that's not using the scientific method to come to a determination. The scientific method is about making a conclusion, right? And then doing another test to make sure that conclusion stands. And then doing another experiment to make sure that conclusion stands. And then you do this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And this is how we know I breathe the same thing you breathe. I know that your heart pumps blood and my heart pumps blood. Like, do you see what I'm saying? I don't have to think about those things, and there is no arguing with me about those things. Do you see what I mean? Now, imagine a world where all those things, now everything is like that. Like, everything you possibly know, you're going to know that level of knowing.
Called Darwin's theory of...
In this video, I'm going to run you through
It's
what
probably
goes
the last
into an
one,
internal
hopefully.
and external
Hopefully the
penetration
last one.
test and how
evolution. The evolution that I have seen as a degree geologist in the fossil record. I mean, I believe in evolution. I've seen it for insects. I've seen it for plants. I've seen it for animals. I saw it in my field work. That theory breaks down when it comes to us because something happened to us that we have yet to account for. Now we're at this critical crossroads. We have to ask ourselves this question: are we going to try to take every iota of new evidence and force it into a pre-existing story that we're clinging to, the theory of evolution? Or are we going to allow those new discoveries to lead us to the new story that they are telling, which is, I would have to say, evolution plus? Evolution did happen, and then something else.
I don't know, bro. It's like, I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into evolution because I haven't really talked about evolution in a while, and I need to get back to that sort of stuff. That's for another day, though.
Else happened in addition to that? This is the question that is up for us right now. That's for the academics to figure out, for you and for me. We are going to be coerced. We're going to be indoctrinated. We're going to be shown very slick and very sexy marketing.
Notice he's predictively programming you right here. And I'm not joking. He's doing it. He might not know he's doing it. He's doing it, though. You do not want to be indoctrinated. You need to start waking up to the signs of how manipulation and brainwashing and indoctrinations work.
I know it's happening, and I'm still impressed at how attractive the marketing makes.
He's impressed. And, like, honestly, actually, like, I'm not impressed, bro. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm not impressed. Like, the system is bonkers, stupid, dumb. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not impressive. It's not. Like, it really isn't. It's, like, ignorant. And I'm humbled by how ignorant I fell for it for my 28 years. You gotta think, though. I find it interesting that it lasted as long as it did. And that's the only impressive thing about it, is it lasted as long as it did. But did it really last as long as it did? Or did it just make us think it lasted as long as it did? And it's really never lasted long at all, because it has to keep crumbling us into nothing and rebuilding us back up. As far as I'm aware, in 200,000 years, this is the 6th time civilization's been built up and destroyed. Or is attempting to be destroyed. Actually, it's attempting not to destroy it. Do you see what I'm saying? It came up with a plan to turn us all into robots.
Makes it look for us to give ourselves away to the technology. We're told that we will be safer in our lives. We're told that our lives will be easier. All we have to do is give away some of our humanness to accept this technology. That's not the language.
I think you should be saying consciousness, not humanness. Like, you're not a human. You're consciousness. Your energy, consciousness, stationary, spirit, energy.
But that is what we're being asked to do.
That's the long version of. See, I know how to tell. I can tell you what you are, but there's no shorthand yet. I haven't figured out that yet.
So when the young people say to me, Greg, what's wrong with putting a computer chip in the brain if I can communicate with my computer without using a keyboard or without using the cable?
You'll lose your fingers.
Or your young people are asking you those kinds of questions. My feeling is this is where we've failed an entire generation, because no one has told these beautiful young souls just how rare, how precious, how sacred they are and their lives are. Just
definitely, that is definitely true right there, what he just said. Like, you have to comprehend, you are the most unique, magnificent snowflake. Technology will never be better than you.
The contrary, they're being told that they are a flawed form of life that needs something outside of themselves to be the best version of themselves.
Which is the system of control. It's an external mechanism created through internal devices happening. Like, you comprehend, you've been brainwashed internally. So inside is brainwashed. What do you think that outside manifestation is going to become? If your whole life internally you've been brainwashed to lie to yourself, what do you think you're going to do out here?
And compete successfully in the world of business and science, that they need something outside of themselves That something is being touted as technology. It's like the shiny prize that's being dangled, and the young people are mesmerized by AI. They're mesmerized by computer chips in longer programs. And in some of the videos and live events that I do, I'm actually sharing studies that were done, for example, by the Salk Institute in Northern California, comparing human neurons to computer chips or entire brains to microprocessors. And not only do we meet, but we
Damn.
exceed the capacity of those microprocessors because they are limited by the stuff they're made of. The function of those microprocessors reaches a limit. What is our limit? We don't know, because every time we think we reach the limit, we morph and we adapt to that and open up an entire new vista of possibilities, because that's what we do. That's what it means to be pure human. So when you are asked, invited, coerced, or even mandated to accept technology into your body, I'm going to invite you to think about this conversation, what it means to you. The question.
Oh, I'm definitely hands down a no. I hope everyone that watches me is going to be a no as well, because you don't want no technology in your fucking body, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro, that you will ruin your existence, bro.
Question you have to ask yourself: do I love myself enough to accept the gift of my humanness?
Oh, and I'm going to add, because he puts love yourself enough. I hope you do love yourself enough to not get chips put into your body or brain. I'm just going to add in, do you got the balls to ask the questions of what's the truth of who I am in the first place, so you don't even want to because you're like a magnificent creature?
And what it means to be human in this world, the gift of my divinity that my humanness allows. Divinity being the ability to love, to forgive, empathy, sympathy, compassion, healing of our own bodies, imagination, creativity, innovation, all functions of divinity. Do I love myself enough to accept the power of my own humanness and my divinity? The answer is not verbal. The answer is revealed through the choices that you make.
And I'm going to end it right there. And so that was a beautiful video by Greg. A couple of like language things he did not do. He did a great job, I might add, bro, about speaking without having confusion too much. He did have confusion a couple of times. See, I don't have to worry about that problem because I don't really have any confusion about anything. I can pretty much say whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, and I don't really have to think about anything at all. Anywho, so that was that, and I hope you subscribe, like the channel, all that good stuff below. I think I might have a video pop up around here somewhere on YouTube. Thank you. I'm not an actor. I don't know how to see, like, all these people out here be going off of scripts. I don't have a script, bro. I'm just a guy reacting to videos like a real guy, not an actor. You won't find me on the fucking Hollywood website.